Hey everyone, it's Bulletproof Monday. Susan Sly here, and I am so happy to be back after traveling. I was in Toronto for a week and I'm back in Scottsdale, and it's just amazing the power of sleeping in your own bed. I'm sure you can all imagine. Anyway, I want to welcome you to Bulletproof Monday. Today we're going to talk about the sacrifices we make to be successful in business. And, so often people have that entrepreneurial dream and they want more time freedom. They want to be their own boss. They want to start that business. They want to grow as a leader. But the hard reality of business is actually much starker than all of the glamour. And I know a thing or two about being an entrepreneur. I've had my own business since I was 11 years old. And in the United States, according to the Small Business Association, in 2018, there were 30.2 million small businesses in the United States, and they employed 58.9 million people. So small business owners, if you're one, congratulations to you. You're a big source of employment here in America and wherever you are in the world. And today we're going to get into the weeds and really talking about the sacrifices we make to be successful. If you're new to Bulletproof Monday, if someone has shared this with you, my name is Susan Sly. So in addition to being an entrepreneur, a CEO, a tech investor, a keynote speaker, a podcast host. If you haven't checked out my podcast, it's the Susan Sly Project on iTunes. I'm a mom of 5. I run 3 businesses, and I'm the cross-country coach, and I was volunteering at my daughter's school this morning and still getting the workout in and doing it all. And at times it can be exhausting, and I'm not the person that's ever going to sugarcoat it. If you are an entrepreneur, these Bulletproof Mondays are for you, because whether we're talking about strategy, we're talking about sales, we're talking about growing your business, whatever it is that we're talking about, it all relates to you, the small business owner, that person who wants to succeed. So let's get right into it. So one of these things with starting our own business, the number one reason people start a business is what? Who can guess? In the chat. Hey, Amy, Bruce, Sue, it's so great to see you. SJ, there's my dad. Hi, Dad. Hey, Marcia, what's the number one reason people start a small business? Who can tell me? The answer is actually, hey, Rachel, good morning in Australia. The answer is this: it's freedom. People start a small business because they want freedom, but here's the real statistics. So this was a poll done by Gallup. If you're ready for this, 39% of business owners work over 60 hours a week. Now, I know some of you are not surprised by that because you own a business and you are grinding. But this whole concept that you're going to go into business and you're going to have all this time freedom, you're going to work less than you do as an employee, is delusional. In fact, you're going to work more if you're going to be successful. And I'm going to talk about today the 8 sacrifices we make to be successful in business. And I don't ever believe you have to sell your soul for anything. I think you have to keep your values, your morals, lead with your faith, whatever that looks like for you. And at the end of the day, if you're a good person, good things are going to come to you. But to be successful, and by success, I'm not talking about, necessarily becoming a billionaire. If that's your goal, that's fantastic. It's a great goal. But success meaning you have the money to pay your bills. You have the money to send your kids, your grandkids, whoever it is, to the right schools, to donate to the charities you want to be able to live the life you want. So for some of you, that small business might be $250,000 a year. For some of you, it might be $2.5 million a year. It might be $25 million a year. I don't know what your lifestyle is. We teach fiscal responsibility here, but that it's success by your definition. And if you're taking notes, it really is your definition. It's not my definition or anyone else's definition. So to me, being successful in business means all of those things I just mentioned, being able to make the donation when when something's on my heart, to be able to tithe, send my kids to the right schools. And it's Bulletproof Monday. If you're here live, you know that right now we're in cross country season. I always give a little bit of my actual real life that's going on. It's not like Instagram glamorous all the time. So as soon as I am done Bulletproof Monday, I actually have a quick business call I'm going to be changing into my cross-country coaching. Then I'm going to be coaching those kids. Today it's only about 101 degrees outside here in Phoenix. I'm going to do that. Many of you know all the kids have learning differences on the team, and I love it. It fills my heart. Then I'll be running in the house, getting my second workout in, doing homework, probably finishing up a few projects, and then having some downtime. And that's my real life every single day. And so as a business owner, it isn't always glamorous. And my cautionary tale is when you go on Instagram and you see people's lives and they're posing in front of the tricked out BMW or the Bentley or the mansion, and they're making it seem that that's what business owning is all about. That's not what it's all about. If you happen to achieve a level where you have enough disposable income to be able to acquire those things, then you might want to look in the mirror and ask yourself why you want to. And the reason I say it is because I used to be about that too. Like, what handbag I'm carrying, what car I'm driving. And what I learned after a period of time being in business is that the things that were most important to the things that were most important to me as a business owner were all the things that no one ever saw or heard about. There are lots of causes I've contributed to that no one's heard about. There are lots of things I've done to volunteer my time that I never even talk about. And to be able to do those things without anyone knowing, to me, that was much more valuable than a car or anything else that I might flash on social media. And so I would ask you this first question as we go into these 8 sacrifices is, why are you in business? What is it for you? Because if you're going to work longer, if you're going to make these sacrifices, if you are going to have to show up in a different way that might not be glamorous, that might be gritty, and there might be times when you're working on weekends and doing all these things, which is pretty often, why at the end of the day are you in business? And I would bet you, because you come to Bulletproof Monday, you listen to it, I bet it's because fundamentally you're a good person. And as Will Smith, who shares my birthday, says, money doesn't change who you are. It only amplifies what's already there. So if you have money, you're going to do good things with your money. And if you're an idiot and you get money, you're going to do idiotic things. So I'm going to get into these 8 sacrifices we make. I would invite you to take notes, comment. I do read all of your comments. I try and keep these Bulletproof Mondays on task. I can't deliver all of the information in 2 minutes. So if you are able, I would encourage you to stay all the way to the end. Just because as I go through these 8 things, it might not be the first or second thing that I say that really resonates, but it might be thing number 7 or number 8. I do want to invite you to my last class I am teaching live this year. It's Organize Your Life. I'm not teaching this class again live. It's not on my roadmap for the next 2 years, easily, as I'm growing Radius, where I'm the co-CEO. This class, it's just, so much in my heart and my passion, because you're not going to be successful in business unless you're organized. So the class is on sale now. There's no coupon code. It's only $347. You get to work with me live. It's not recorded, though it will be recorded. And if you can't be on live, but we do it at a time. So if you're in Australia, if you're in Canada, US, you can definitely watch it. If you're in the UK, you're going to get up super early in the morning, or you'll get the recording. I do live interactive coaching. It's for anyone who wants to make more profit, become more productive, and just lead a ridiculously fulfilling life. That price is going up Sunday, so check it out. I would love to work with you. And again, there are a lot of courses out there, and I recognize your money, your time is valuable, but I can promise you there's no other class on organization for business owners that's taught by a self-made millionaire who has 5 kids. I can promise you that one. Anyway, let's get into it. So the first sacrifice you're going to make is the sacrifice of your time. And so, as I mentioned, when you own a business, you are going to work longer hours than you would as an employee. And, you hear about these glamorous, like Silicon Valley exits where people make hundreds of millions or billions or Bitcoin billionaires. But what they don't ever talk about is the grind and the hustle. So as many of you know, I'm building a AI, an artificial intelligence startup, and it's called Radius AI. And so we have human-centric AI. We don't store people's personal information. We, really love to help our clients and customers. And so we were asked to do a proposal for a very large company and a multi-billion-dollar company. And so it was Labor Day weekend a couple weeks ago. And what was I doing on Friday night? I wasn't at a barbecue. I wasn't out at a cocktail bar. I was working on a proposal with my co-CEO until 7 o'clock at night. By 7 o'clock, I was going a little cross-eyed. I was like, ooh. And then you know what I was doing Saturday? I was presenting the proposal while I was at a cottage. And, you know, there's this whole concept, and especially with certain types of businesses where you see people and they're like, oh, I just do my business from anywhere. I do it on my surfboard or in the pockets of my life. That isn't real. That isn't real. And some of you might be in direct sales. I am a unicorn. I've been very successful in that business. There's not one person I know who's earned over $1 million a year that didn't grind it out. They may have reaped the rewards of their labor that they put in. One of my friends has been in the same company for 30 years and she has an amazing life. But did she ever work? Did she ever work? Did she ever work? Did she ever work? You're going to work. And so you've got to be willing to sacrifice your time. The question is, time is finite. We all have the same 24 hours in our day. Where are you going to take some hours that you might be doing things like wasting time and put them into your productive time? And that's, you know, one of the things I teach in OYL. And so sacrificing your time. And remember, sacrifice is not a pain, it's a privilege. I'm going to say that again. Sacrifice isn't a pain, it's a privilege. So it's a privilege for us to sacrifice our time. You don't need to watch old episodes of House of Cards or Game of Thrones on Hulu or HBO Go or Netflix or whatever it is your vice of choice is. You can take that time and you can be prospecting, you could be building funnels, you could be following up, you could be networking, you can do all sorts of things. You can learn, you know, how to build your own website. You can optimize your sales funnels. You can do all sorts of things with your time. And one of the things I've learned in this journey is that the most successful people are the most deliberate with their time. They're not wasting their time. Number 2 is you've got to sacrifice your ego. As you grow in business, you are going to attract some critics. And some of the critics are wrong, but some of them are right. And one piece of wisdom I'll give you is that in the course of this journey, years and years ago, I was doing a business presentation and I had prepared and I had written it out. I had done all this stuff. And after I did it, this woman came up to me and she said, "You were the worst speaker I've ever seen. You should never speak in front of people again." And I was hurt. You know, I went to my car and I cried, but she laid out all of these reasons why I wasn't a good speaker. And so it was 2002 when this happened. So I went back, and after getting over my wounds, and you know how you feel sorry for yourself, just nod your head, right? And I went, okay, you know what? In the face of challenge, we can give up or get better. So if I have no ego around this and I really want to serve people and I want to add value to people and I want to improve myself and have this constant and never-ending improvement, then I have to get better. And that's when I started studying the best speakers at that time and watching, you know, how they did what they did. That's how I learned about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, because I wanted to become better. In business, there's no room for ego. One of my favorite sayings is this: your ego better not be bigger than your bank account. There are people who think they know it all, and even people close in your life who will tell you your products are garbage or they could do it better than you could. Well, there's an ancient saying that says you don't really truly know a person until you walk at least a mile in their shoes. And I would say in this day and age, just following someone on social media and saying you could do it better than they do, or going to a company event and seeing the CEO present and go, if I were them, I'd do this. No, you don't know all of the decisions that person makes in a day. And what I would say to you is surrender your ego. And if someone is more successful than you are in your industry and they're willing to give you advice, whether it's a podcast, a book, however it is, a seminar, get out in front of them and learn from them. Surrender your ego. Number 3, the sacrifice of your distractions. So we talked about time a little bit. Distractions are a bit different. There are things we do with our time that are valuable, like working out. I'll tell you, while I'm growing Radius, I'm not doing Ironman triathlons. I haven't entered a marathon because building this business is like a marathon. So this morning, I was on my Peloton for 45 minutes. That might be the only workout I get. If I was training for a marathon right now, I'd be doing a 3-hour run on Sunday. I'd be training for at least 90 minutes a day between double workouts, double cardios, all these things. You can't do both. I'm going to tell you right now. And just like, you may love, like me, to run marathons or do Ironman races or CrossFit or whatever it is, while you're building a business, your time is finite and your distractions are infinite. I'm going to say it again. That one was good. While you're building a business, your time is finite and your distractions are infinite. So a couple that I mentored in the direct sales realm, they went on to become millionaires, but the first thing they gave up was cable. They said cable's a distraction. For some of you, it might be gossiping. It might be, going out with friends all the time. It might be just, scrolling social media. Like, unless you're on social media and make money, it's just scrolling social media and looking at other people's fake happy lives. I don't know how that actually serves you, but you're here for me to learn something. This is the way I get to contribute to you for free. I really could care if you buy something from me ever. I would love to work with you, but if you do, you do. You don't. I don't care. This is the way I give to you. It's like a pastor in a church who's preaching, whether I put money in the offering bucket or not, they're just going to keep preaching every Sunday. And this is, for me, this is my ministry. Every Monday is for all of you, right? This isn't a distraction. You're learning something. But if you're going on social media and you start feeling bad, you're not learning anything. That's a big distraction. So it could be drinking every day. It could be day drinking. It could be getting stoned. It could be all sorts of things that are distractions. There's a price to pay for success. And it's really, really understanding that it is essential to sacrifice your distractions. The next sacrifice you're going to make is the sacrifice of your doubters. I cannot tell you how many doubters I have had, even my own, hey, Dr. Nicoletta, even my own husband, when I started direct sales, he said, you're going to get arrested. All those things are scams and schemes. So imagine I'm trying to build a business and, think about it this way. I come in from work. I was working full time. I come in from work. I'm going to do a 3-way call. I come into, oh, you're going to go do your pyramid thing again. And eventually he learned to be supportive of it. But at first he wasn't. So I had to silence the doubters. And to this day, what business do I have as co-CEO of an artificial intelligence company when I don't have a PhD from Carnegie Mellon? Yet, maybe I will someday, right? Or what business do I have as a mom building 3 companies? Or what business do I have as a non-white woman working with all white men? I don't know. I'm just making this stuff up. I'm just saying you're going to have doubters. You're going to have people like Nicoletta has a brand new baby. You're going to have people like, what are you doing? You should just be a stay-at-home mom. You're going to have all kinds of doubters. And here's the thing. They're not going to go away. They're going to change their shape and form. I had someone, this is so funny. I had someone who private messaged me and they're like, so-and-so says you sued them. And I said, tell so-and-so to provide proof of that. Right? Kim Kardashian has haters. Chrissy Teigen has haters. Bill Gates has haters. Everybody has critics, has haters, has trolls. Don't think when you reach a level of success that you're not going to have them. You are. Demi Lovato just posted a beautiful photo of herself on cellular. She's like, I don't care. Just don't care. And that's healthy. You're going to have an I don't care attitude. You're going to have a thick skin. I have a friend who started a company that went on to become a multi-billion-dollar company. And I have watched her over the years receive so much criticism. And a lot of it isn't even true. It's just nasty. But I'm going to rant for a moment. If someone has to put someone else down to make themselves look good, don't do business with them because they will put you down behind your back too. And I hope that's landing for you. The next thing you're going to have to sacrifice is your procrastination. In business, to be successful, you're going to do a whole bunch of stuff that's not glamorous, that you don't want to do, but you're going to have to do it anyway. Just before, I'm a CEO, right? Just before I came to do Bulletproof Monday, I was posting and editing a blog for one of my colleagues. Now that is something a virtual assistant can do, but I'm doing it because especially in a startup, you're going to wear many hats, and you cannot ever think that you can delay one thing, because guess what happens when you delay one thing? Other things build up and other things build up and other things build up. There's no end of it when you're in business. So you've got to just get rid of it. Sacrifice your procrastination. That's why I get up at 4:30 in the morning. And I'm not saying you have to, but I would strongly urge you to. The next thing is the sacrifice of your money. When someone approaches you with a get rich quick, no money down scheme, run away. There are a lot of businesses you can start with a little bit of money, like network marketing. You could start with a few $100s, but you're going to have to part with some money to start a business. And it's not just the obvious expense. There are legal fees, there are accounting fees, there are your CRM. You need to have one. You're delusional if you don't. You might have to hire a virtual assistant. There are all sorts of things, but business is an investment. And, to think, and I see people, and I'm going to rant off again about direct sales. I see people in network marketing, they get their check and they spend every cent of it. They don't allocate money for taxes. They don't think expansively, like taking a percentage of their money, using it to make more money, because you're going to have highs and lows in every single business. And that's not true business. True business is understanding that I'm in business and I have to invest money. When I owned a health club, if a piece of equipment broke, I had to buy more equipment. Like my people at my health club were, treadmills down. That's okay. No, it's not okay. There is an investment in business, and that's why as you start growing your business, you've got to cleave off money to reinvest into that business. The next thing you're going to have to sacrifice is your comfort. It is not comfortable. Women, I'm going to speak to you directly, my sisters, my tribe, my angels. It is not comfortable. Whether you are wearing Spanx in 120 degrees in Dallas, Texas, that was me a couple weeks ago. That's going to be me this Friday. Or you feel like you're in a meeting and everyone's talking and you feel like the least qualified person in that room. It's going to bring out your insecurities. You're not going to be comfortable at times. You're, this willingness to learn and to all of those things. They aren't called growing pains for a reason. It is not comfortable. Earlier in the spring, when I was studying my course, my MIT course, it was not comfortable. I mean, I was spending, 12, 15 hours a week on the MIT course, growing this business, serving my other two businesses, getting my workout in, all of these things. It wasn't comfortable. And there was a sacrifice to be paid for that comfort. I love, when, one of the things I love is when my hair looks good. Now you guys know everything, right? When my hair looks good, get a blowout, I come and do these Bulletproof Mondays. It's not comfortable for me that I just put my hair in a side braid this morning wet, but it is what it is. I was volunteering at one school and headed to another school. I had meetings. It is what it is, right? So comfort might be a small price to pay for something like my hair doesn't look as good, or it might be a bigger price to pay in the fact that you have an unsupported spouse and you're literally going from a discussion with your partner about divorce or separation and walking into a business meeting and having to be on, or coming out of a contentious meeting and walking into your house and having to be mom or dad. It's not comfortable. It isn't comfortable. Stop deluding yourself and thinking that, when I hit this certain level, everything's going to be rosy. You're going to have different levels of discomfort, and some days are going to be better than others. And one of my good friends, Michelle Doheny, always said, there are great days and there are growing days. And on the great days, it's a lot more comfortable. On the growing days, there's a lot of discomfort, but you use today's pain to become tomorrow's power. And I'm going to say that again. Use today's pain to become tomorrow's power. And the wonderful thing about getting out of your comfort zone is you grow and you grow and you grow, and then you get tired of growing. It's like, oh my, and sometimes I'll say, God, okay, enough with the growing. I just need a day where I don't have any growing. But then on those days that I'm not growing, then I feel like something's missing. Can you guys relate to that? So you're going to have to sacrifice your comfort. And the eighth thing is, the last thing is about sacrificing your resentment. It's easy. It's easy to sit there and be resentful. And resentment is like a cancer for the soul. And you can resent your doubters. You can resent the critics. You can resent the fact that it's so hard at times. How many of you have had a hard time in business one time or another? It's been hard. Just, do a little thumbs up if it's been hard for you, or a little heart. It's hard at times. And it's easy to become resentful. But if you could sacrifice your resentment and say, you know what, I'm not going to live in resentment. I know it's hard. I embrace this journey. I embrace the discomfort. I embrace these sacrifices, but I'm not going to allow myself to get resentful. Because the moment you allow resentment into your life in one small way, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a client or customer who's really challenging and you begin to resent them. You're going to see that same type of client or customer show up again and again. And soon you're resenting all of your clients and customers. How is your business going to be? It's the same thing. You might have a vendor and you start to resent that vendor. Then suddenly the money you get from that vendor goes down and down and down. So one of the things that I do is I cast aside my resentment every single night. And, and to me, I cast it to God, right? There's a story in the Bible where Abraham is asked to sacrifice his son Isaac, and he literally puts him on the altar. And at the last minute, God rescues him. And there are so many stories in the Bible that call for sacrifice. And I was thinking deeply yesterday, I don't preach over you guys. I'm not, this isn't about religion, but I have to be my honest self, since I'm going to give to you of myself. I can't give to you of 9/10 of myself. I'm going to give 100% of myself. And I am a Christian. There's numerous evidence of the power of sacrifice and how after sacrifice comes reward. And so the same thing is true for all of us in business. We are called to these 8 different sacrifices. But on the other side of that, that's when you do have the time freedom to be able to put your kids in the schools they deserve to, take the vacations, travel. Business has allowed me to visit places like Bali and Australia, and all these different places that I might not have gone to. Business has allowed me to grow as a person. It's allowed me to become a better role model for my kids. It's really helped shape who I am. And my wish for you, all of you, is that you understand that these sacrifices pale in comparison to the rewards on the other side. And I'm going to close with the words of my one of my mentors, who said, Susan, to be successful, you have to be willing to do today what others won't, so you can do tomorrow what others can't. And with that, if you aren't already, go over to susansly.com right now. Just go there right now and sign up for my list. I don't, sometimes I don't email you every week, but I do live coaching for members of my list. Once a month, they get a private invitation, my time, $1 million coach. I get to coach you, in the areas of productivity, in the areas of business. And so only people on the list get that invitation. So I would encourage you to head over there. I will be actually sending out, now that I'm back, I will be sending out these notes from today to the list. So check it out if you enjoyed the sacrifices. And again, if you want to leave a question or comment, please do. And if this message has been valuable today, I would encourage you to share it. And with that, God bless. Go out and rock your day. And I will be here next Monday for another episode of Bulletproof Monday. Goodbye, everyone.